All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy NFL game day, baby. You already know what time it is. It is time for game day countdown with Mac and James. We are here to talk about the recap of what happened this past Saturday with the college football games. And we're also here to discuss what's going to be happening with today's NFL games. Big Mac, what you got for us right now?
Oh man, I'm just ready to get this awesome Sunday started off. We're gonna hit you with some safe parlays for each individual NFL game. We're gonna go over this college game day. Oh my God, yesterday was crazy. Yesterday was crazy. But
Yes.
before we get into it, let's hit the intro.
Let's do it. But real quick, hey, if you're feeling oozy and you want some true victory apparel, be sure to click the link in the description of this video and make sure you use code No Mercy Sports 15 for 15% off your entire purchase. True victory, baby. Let them know I sent you. Let's do it.
Game day countdown with Mack and James. It's game day countdown, round rise and shine. Mack and James with the sports talk line. Big plays, bright lights, teams on the rise. From the first snap to the final drive. Big hits, big plays are the highlights. Countdown's on, it's football time. Game day countdown, Mack and James, let's go. Game day countdown with Mack and James.
All right. Good morning, y'all, and happy football Sunday. You know what? Scratch that. Happy football weekend. But man, what a weekend it has been so far, especially with college football, man.
Oh yes. Yesterday, we seen some big wins and we seen some big losses.
That we
Okay.
did.
All right. So we'll start from the beginning. Okay. Uh, Saturday it started with Oregon going into Wisconsin. They pulled
Hmm.
off the win, 16-13. I think most of us picked Oregon to win, but
Yep.
this was a much more competitive game than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next up, we have Ohio State going into Northwestern and blew the doors off 31-7. I mean, they're looking like a playoff caliber team here. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all I can say. Next up, we have Texas went into Arkansas and got the win 20-10. Like
Yeah,
I think
that was a pretty competitive game. Right up until I want to say Texas got a late game interception. And yeah.
yeah, no, the touchdown in the fourth quarter pretty much sealed the game.
Yeah, it really looked like Arkansas was gonna be gaining some momentum towards the end of the game with like less than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but Texas just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Yes, sir. All right, next up we have Penn State going into Purdue. I think everybody and their mama knew Penn State was going to put a thumping down, and they did 49-10.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, I mean they're definitely playing. They're looking again. This is another playoff team that looks like a playoff team. All
absolutely.
right, here is our first upset of Saturday. It was Kansas City going into BYU, number 6 BYU, and upsetting them. Okay, they were 3-6 coming in against a 9-0 team, and for them to win is crazy. And then not only for them to win, for them to win in BYU's house. Oh my goodness.
Damn, that is crazy. I mean, I really expected BYU to get the win. I was so focused on the UFC fight last night, like shit.
Yes, yes. Next up, we have Tennessee going into Georgia. I had a
Hmm.
lot of people talking good about Tennessee. I'm actually wearing orange. No, just a coincidence. But yeah, 31-17, Georgia beating Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um, it's a big statement win. Like, I mean, well, after the two losses that they've had this year, I
Oh yeah.
mean, it's a good win for them, but it's just like I'm still taking second looks. I'm still taking second looks.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good win for Georgia, but at the same time, it's like kind of need to do a double take with Georgia and really think to yourself, like, hey, do they still should they still be in the college football playoffs?
Yeah. Next up, we have Virginia going into Notre Dame. Of course,
Hmm.
Notre Dame was the heavy favorite here, and they won 14-35. So
Yep.
I mean, I give it. Notre Dame has done their thing. They have had one, they had one shitty loss this year, and it's like since then they have not taken the foot off the gas.
No, and definitely, this is easily a good win for Notre Dame as well. Yeah, their only loss is to Northern Illinois, who walked out with a really good payday at the end of the day. But yeah, Notre Dame has not taken their foot off the gas since that loss, and yeah, they really took that loss personally.
Hmm. Next up, Mercer, a 9-1 Mercer went, went into a 7-2 Alabama and got shellacked. You're
Well,
talking.
wait, hang on. Mercer could give at least 50 to 60 FBS teams a run for their money, but they just don't
Listen,
compare to Alabama.
yeah, 7-52, 7-52. Okay, that's man, that's an
Like,
ass.
yeah, like we knew from the start that Mercer wasn't going to match up to Alabama anytime soon. I mean, come on, Alabama is part of the greatest conference in FBS right now.
All right. Next up, we have Boise State going into San Jose State, winning 42-21. I think we
Yep.
all knew that was going to happen. Then we have Boston College going into SMU, and Boston College. I mean, it was a competitive game until the third quarter. The third
Yeah.
quarter is just kind of where it just pulled the rest of the way,
Yeah.
and yeah, so SMU ran away with it.
Hmm.
Next up, we have New Mexico State going into Texas A&M. The 3-38. I mean, Texas A&M put a hurting on them. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
whatsoever. I don't think anybody was. Okay, next up, we have Arizona State going into Kansas State. And Arizona State got the upset. They beat Kansas State, and and granted, I know this is a divisional thing, but wow, that was a nice upset. It was a very
Yeah.
nice upset. I think we talked about Arizona State and Kansas State on your
Hmm.
show
Yeah.
briefly about how this was going to be one of the tougher matchups,
Yeah.
and it wound up coming true. Like it was Arizona State pulled away quick, and then like it looked like Kansas State was going to try to make a comeback, but it wasn't there for them. All right,
Yeah,
now
no. Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. I really thought that Kansas State was gonna get the win. I guess, it's more so like, hey, uh, Kansas State is getting the win just because they're ranked over Arizona State, but Arizona State went into Kansas and made a statement against those guys. Like, damn.
yeah, yeah, like maybe we should be the ranked team. But
Hey, we'll
next
see,
up,
but where the bias bits with Alabama and making sure that they make the college football playoffs. You know how it is, Andrew.
next up, we have Utah going into Colorado, and Colorado. I mean, there was like only 1 second of this game where it might have looked doubtful for
Yes.
Colorado, but then once they got into the driver's seat, it was over.
Oh yeah.
24-49. Uh,
Hmm.
Shadir Sanders, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he was going off. This guy's he's a top 5 NFL draft pick this year. Okay, hands down, top 5.
Oh yeah.
Like this kid is doing things to understand that just 2 years ago, this team didn't have 2 wins to rub together.
Yeah.
Okay, now all of a sudden, this is an 8-2 team. Okay,
No. Yeah.
this is something special right here.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, if I was to pick between Cam Rising and Shador Sanders, I'm easily going with Shador Sanders because the way that this kid has been balling out, especially going back to last year, um, Yeah, last year Colorado only got to 4 wins, but there was some serious potential with Shador Sanders, and right now we are seeing what Colorado is capable of. I know there was a lot of hype around um, Colorado with Deion Sanders coming in, and what we were to expect of them, but right now we are seeing like, hey, you know, you're expecting a lot of us, but look at the product we're putting on the field right now.
Yeah, completely agree. Next up is Washington State going into New Mexico, and New Mexico getting the upset. It was yeah, and that's the crazy thing because it came like Washington State. They scored 14 points in both the first and second quarter. New Mexico
Jesus.
only scored 7 points in both. They scored 7 points in both the first and second quarter. So they're
That's
down
insane.
14 points at halftime. Okay, and then New Mexico comes out the third quarter, scores 14 points, and then 10 points in the fourth quarter. And Washington State only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So it was like, hey, you let them come back because you were
Yep,
so safe at halftime. You thought this was locked up. It's a done deal. We're good to go here.
yep.
And no, you lost it because you got complacent.
Yep.
Um, next up,
It's more so like, bro, you thought.
yeah, next up, for me was the biggest upset of the week. Louisville going in to Stanford and losing to Stanford. Like,
Oh my god.
holy shit. You're talking about it was a 2-7 team going against a 6-3 team. Louisville is a ranked team. And then
Hmm.
you turn around and now with this loss, this completely knocks them out of the ranking. It has to.
Oh, easily. I wouldn't be surprised. Hell, even after Missouri's loss to South Carolina, there's going to be some teams that are going to be getting knocked out of the rankings after this week.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, it was one of those things. I watched it come down to a field goal, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, holy shit! Like Louisville is really about to lose to fucking Stanford. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, I
But
mean, and the fact that Stanford was 2-7 going into this game, like, guys, what are you doing? I know that Colorado blowing a lead to Stanford last year was bad, but Louisville, you guys are, yeah, you may be ranked number 19 in the country, but damn, to Stanford,
yeah,
insane.
next up, we got Clemson going into Pitt. And like I'm not gonna lie, man. In the fourth quarter, it looked like Pitt was gonna have a nice little comeback win.
Oh,
It
for sure.
really did. And then it happens, but Clemson got the win, 24-20.
Hmm.
I mean, overall, the fourth quarter was exciting.
Oh, for sure. Like,
I will say that.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it really came down to literally the final seconds.
Um, Next up, we have Missouri going into South Carolina. I think
Mhm.
most of us called for South Carolina to win this game.
Yep.
Uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really surprised that Missouri put up 30 points. I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't think they were going to put up 20 points, and to see it was 30-34, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, yeah, they put up points, and I'm like, "Okay, no problem." But South Carolina came out with the win. It was a big win for them. Okay,
Yeah,
as
for
far as
sure.
being an SEC rival, you needed
Mhm.
this win to continue to stay ranked and move up the charts.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. No, this is, a great win for, South Carolina. I
and I'll
know.
give my shout out to Sellers because 353 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What a fucking day. That's a
No,
goddamn day.
absolutely. I mean, Lenore Sellers, have yourself a fucking day, my dude. And this really is showing like, hey, South Carolina, they're going to be moving up in the rankings a whole lot. I mean, after this week alone, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be. booted out of the rankings or drop in the rankings, and South Carolina is going to continue to move up. And this was one of those games where it was like, hey, we're moving up in the rankings. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they're a team that's right there,
Yeah.
right there. They have all the pieces to be a champion, but we'll see how everything plays out. Um,
Hmm.
Next up, we have LSU going into Florida. I think most of us took LSU. I think
Yeah.
I think we
I
really talked ourselves out of Florida,
yeah.
and LSU going in and getting beat 16-27 by Florida.
Mm.
That lets me know that maybe they shouldn't have been ranked in the first place.
Well, on top of that, it also goes to show, like, hey, um, Brian Kelly is built for probably a lot of college football teams, but the SEC definitely isn't one of them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the coaching goes, like you'd like to see, these guys do more. But I mean,
Hmm.
again, I just because I don't understand the whole backside of college football as well as I understand the NFL of it's kind of hard for me to be like, yeah, it's exactly this person's fault when it could be a multitude of things. It could be a multitude of people, but overall, it's like something needs to change because
No, for sure.
there's games where you guys played good competition and you guys played great, and then there's
Hmm.
been times where you've played decent competition and you've shit the fucking bed, and you know what I mean. So at this point, it's just kind of one of those things where you're just scratching your head, like.
Yeah,
And then
no.
same thing with Florida. Florida is doing just enough to where their head coach is going to keep his job.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like 2, maybe 3 weeks into the regular season where Bill Napier was, trash talking the fans. Look, I get it if you wanna be a head coach and, you can do a lot of things, but the one thing you should never do is trash talk the fans, and I really thought the dude was gonna be fired after that because it's like, yo, Florida fans are seriously passionate, and the Swamp is one of the hardest places to go into and get a win, especially in the SEC.
I mean, I respect that, but yeah, I definitely didn't think Florida was coming out of this game with a win.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think so either.
Uh,
But we are talking a lot of games right now, but there's a underrated game that should be discussed. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, 8-1, welcomed 4-5 South Alabama, and South Alabama walked out with the victory, 24-22.
we talked about this. We talked about South Alabama's high-powered offense. They can
Yeah.
score points with anybody. Like
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely some potential there for South Alabama. There is no doubt about that. But hey, maybe they put a whooping on them the same way Alabama did, or maybe South Alabama puts a whooping on Mercer the same way that Alabama did.
it'll be similar, not the same. But the last game I have on my schedule here to talk about is Tulane going into Navy
Oh
and
boy, yeah,
getting the
all
goose egg.
because I'm wearing this shirt.
No. It's because we followed Navy every week. Every week this season, we have followed Navy on
Yeah.
its ups and downs, and unfortunately,
Hmm.
this is another down for Navy.
Yep.
Um, I knew they were gonna lose to Tulane. I knew they were gonna lose to Tulane, but it was, there's always a glimmer of hope that you're like, you know what, this is our one hopeful team of the year. Let's
Yeah.
keep back in Navy. Let's hope. But yeah, no, after this week, all hope is gone.
Hmm.
Let's go Army Navy.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was definitely a game that Navy should have gotten the win with. I know both teams were like 8-2, 7-2 going into it. Uh, but I think once Blake Horvath went down and their backup quarterback came in, yeah, that was when Navy really shit the bed. I mean, I won't. I'm just gonna call it like I see it. But yeah.
We'll listen to you more. We'll listen to you more if
Yeah.
that helps.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
definitely listen
we'll
to you more.
definitely listen to you more because because of South Carolina's win over Missouri and the fact that they're going to be moving up in the rankings. So yin yang. But yeah, like I was saying, this is definitely Navy's time to shine and show, hey, we deserve to be in the rankings as well. But like I said, once Horvath went down and went onto the sideline and their backup quarterback came in, they just shit the bed going forward.
Yes, sir. I am right there with you, bud.
So I mean, hey, it is what it is. Looks like Navy is still going to get a decent bowl game at the end of the season. So, oh boy. Hey,
Yeah.
look, maybe these. Hey, I'm still optimistic about Navy because those are my stomping grounds. You know what I'm saying?
James Madison beat Old Dominion.
Oh
That
shit! It looked like
that
Old
was one I
Dominion
had.
was gonna upset James Madison.
No, 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 no. They did not. All right. USC did beat Nebraska.
Jesus, Nebraska, what is you doing?
And here's honestly what I thought was a pretty safe bet was Cal beating Syracuse, but Syracuse went into Cal and beat them 33-25. I
What the
was like,
fuck?
nah, that shit, I couldn't believe it. And then
Hey,
fucking Auburn got the win.
yeah, now they actually want to start playing some good fucking football with
I wouldn't say good football. I mean, look who they're playing. UL Monroe.
yeah, but at the same time,
They're not
UL
playing a
Monroe
top
did have a
caliber.
decent record going into Auburn.
I mean, but did you look at the record? Did what top talent did you? Man, we went over this, and I was like,
Mm,
there's no real top talent there.
yeah, that's true. Let's
Um,
fucking go. 45,000 views last night with the live stream of UFC 309. It was a party last night. Let me talk to you.
yes, sir. Iowa State gets the win over Cincinnati.
There you go,
We
guys.
got the Tar Heels beating Wake Forest.
Okay.
Um, I think we hit on pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Baylor did get a big win over fucking West Virginia, 49-35.
Oof.
But
So complete.
Air Force beat Oregon State
Oof.
28-0.
God, they didn't beat him. They just shut him out.
Mm-hmm.
But completely off topic, I'm gonna say something from the NHL as the Florida Panthers hand the Winnipeg Jets their third loss on the season, shutting them out 5-0.
Ooh.
I know.
Mm. See, with the NHL, man, like that's the crazy thing is like you have to bet on defenses.
Yeah.
Like in the NHL, like if I bet on games, I'm betting on a team's defense and their
Oh yeah,
goal.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I'm betting on. I
Oh
do
yeah.
not bet on goal scorers. I stopped doing that 2 years ago because I'm telling you, I think I probably played like maybe a good 50, 60 parlays throughout like a year, and
Oh
I
yeah.
only hit one. So when I started betting on the games and betting on the goalies, and betting them for them to get at least 5 stops,
Mm-hmm.
I was hitting on those parlays. I was betting on the defense to win. When I was betting on the Bruins and I was betting on the Penguins, and you know what I mean, I was betting on the Capitals, and
Yeah.
they were winning regularly. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
I would put these easy parlays together, and they would hit with the NHL. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for another NHL season. I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie. I'm more of a second half of the season fan.
Yeah.
Like when we get to the January and February, that's really when I deep dive and get into it. When you actually have a nice, bit of stats you can go after.
Oh, for sure.
And
Like
that's
that's when the games really starts to, or that's when the sport really starts to get uh really interesting, really fun, and then you start looking at like, oh, hey, is this team a potential Stanley Cup playoff type of team, or are they just going to get to the playoffs and just shit the bed?
Well, see, that's the thing that I like about hockey because every few years you'll have a team that, in December doesn't look like they're going to be anywhere close to the playoffs. And then by the end of the season, you're like, holy shit, this team did such a great turnaround.
Yep.
And now look at them. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup, but it's just like, I love Cinderella teams. I think
Oh,
we
for
like
sure.
most sports fans love Cinderella teams because even though it might not be your team, you
Yeah.
still want to see a Cinderella team go and do some great things in the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree. I mean, one of the best Cinderella teams in another sport was the 2019 Nationals. They had a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs going into the All-Star break, and then all of a sudden they win the World Series.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. The last topic that I want to bring up before we jump into the NFL is yeah, the Logan Paul Tyson fight,
Yeah. Oof.
complete cash grab, complete cash grab. I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm saying it. A lot of people have already said it. I'm just look. It's one of those things. You watch the videos of Mike Tyson training. You see him
Mhm.
moving around. You see him hitting. You see him throw combos. I didn't see that in that fight. From what
No.
little bit I seen between buffering.
No.
Okay.
I completely agree.
This was 100% a cash grab. There
Yeah.
was there was it was not a boxing match. Uh,
Only thing this dude right here did right was make sure that he got some money in his pocket. That was it.
I mean that's fine, but now what you're doing is essentially you're turning a sport into a spectacle, okay,
Yes.
and not a good spectacle. It's
No.
like fucking Barnum and Bailey. It's a three ring fucking circus.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Like this is supposed to be a professional sport where guys go in
Mhm.
the ring and you throw hands and you see who's the best at it. But this guy,
Exactly.
eh, I get doing it like, oh, I'm so good, I can jump up ranks and I can fight people better and better and better and better, and then I can get quick to the championship. Understand it, but fight real fighters.
Yeah. No,
Fight
for sure.
like if you're gonna go into boxing, box real boxers like
Mhm.
Fury. Fury was the only legitimate boxer that he has fought, and he lost.
Yeah.
So again, it's one of those things where you're sitting here, you're looking at it, you're like, okay, so why not let's start doing this legitimately. You
Yeah.
have fans, you have so why not do this legitimately? Why are you boxing Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson doesn't need the money. You don't need the money.
No.
So if we're gonna make money, let's
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, look, I completely agree. This was a instant cash grab, and he just wants bragging rights. That's all the little shit wants is bragging rights. Like, oh, hey, I be former NBA player Nate Robinson. I be former world champion Mike Tyson. Yeah, look at the fucking age that they're at, dude. I mean, man, you go back in time and you actually watch some clips of Mike Tyson looking at Muhammad Ali. The dude is like a kid on Christmas morning. He can't help but just be he's just so infatuated with the compliments that Ali is giving him. And he even said it himself, like, hey, every head must bow, every tongue must confess. Ali is the greatest of all time. And look, that's the way that Jake Paul should have looked at Mike Tyson instead of like, oh, yeah, I'm going to try to make this fight personal. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. Like, no. Iron Mike for our generation is arguably the greatest of all time. And you went in there trying to make it personal? The fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, do you have more CTE than fucking Antonio Brown? Like, bro.
is that possible?
One fight, real fighter. Because if you want to cement yourself as a real fucking boxer, you should be fighting real boxers. Not,
Yeah,
not
no, I mean that's the whole thing. Okay, yeah, he bowed to him. I mean, yeah, he did
yeah,
bow to him,
after the
and
fight.
I mean, again, for me, it's just like you're making a mockery of the sport.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes,
hey,
it is all about the money.
yep,
Absolutely
no,
correct. There's no disagreeing
100%
with that.
right here. It's all about the money. But I mean, boxing really needs to take a look at what Dana White is doing with the UFC because, he's not just what is it? He's not, selling fights for a cash grab. He's actually making legitimate fights and they're working.
Yes, 100%, and that's the big difference. But okay, on to the next topic is now the NFL.
All right.
Okay.
But hey, real quick, we're gonna take our first commercial break. If you feel in the need for a tattoo, be sure to check this place out. All right. If you are in the mood for getting a tattoo, be sure to contact Jimbo at Boulevard Tattoo Company.
All right. This night was 100 years old. Uh, yeah, but he's fighting John
So is
Jones.
John Jones.
Like
Jesus. The only difference is John Jones can't stay clean to save his freaking life.
God. Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry though. Like he's not the greatest of all time. Like it's the drug test that he failed that put a stain on his legacy. Prior to
Yeah.
that, oh yeah, he was easily
I'm
the greatest of
listen,
all time.
listen, if you're gonna like UFC gun to the head, if I all my money, my life has to be on the line, who's gonna be the greatest pound for pound? I think I'm taking Mighty Mouse. I think I'm taking Demetrius.
Ooh, Demetrius Johnson. I like that pick.
Yeah, I mean, pound for pound, I think
Mhm.
you make him put him in a heavyweight and stretch his body out, keep same proportion at 6'4". He's going to hurt people. Okay, so I'll leave that there.
I mean,
Um,
hey, give me prime Chuck Liddell. That man was a killer.
yes, yes, I agree with you. On to the NFL. All
Let's
right.
do it.
So we had Thursday night football. We had Washington going into Philadelphia.
Hmm.
Philly got the win.
Yep.
The game was 26-18. The second half of the game was much more exciting. It looked like there could have been a possible comeback, but unfortunately, Washington just couldn't get it done.
Yep.
Uh, Philadelphia is a great team, and I think it's going to come down to these two teams when it's all said and done at the end of the year.
Oh yeah. Are
Well, I'm
are
talking
we
in this
talking like
division.
NFC East or NFC in
Yes,
general?
yes, NFC East. NFC East.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's
Yeah,
these
yeah,
two
yeah.
teams that are going to be, biting for who's going to go to the playoffs from the division.
Yeah, Yeah,
Now,
no, for
I
sure.
think Washington could definitely get in a wild card spot,
Mhm.
but just the simple fact is they're this damn good. I mean, it's again, it has another like Texans of last year,
Yeah.
except for guess what? It's now a new quarterback.
Mhm.
um,
No, I completely agree. I mean, this is definitely the NFC East is really going to be coming down to Washington and the Eagles right now. I know the Eagles handed Washington their fourth loss on the year, but hey, Philadelphia is pretty due for some losses on their schedule right now.
Yeah, I mean they've got a couple tough games coming up, but they've also got a lot of easy games that are going to help with momentum.
Yes.
Okay, so going on to the 1 o'clock games today, we're going to start with Green Bay going into Chicago. Right,
Hmm.
currently the under over is 40 and a half points.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to tell you now, I'm taking Green Bay to win this.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and give me Love for 175 yards and a touchdown, and then I'm going to take Reed, the wide receiver Reed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take him for 4 catches, 40 yards,
Mm.
and the Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take him for 60. He's going to have
Yeah,
60
I can.
yards. Now, I don't think he's going to get 80, 90, 100 all-purpose yards. Chicago's defense is still good.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just giving you bread and butter. These are things that should I'm 90% on happening.
yeah. I mean, right now, so earlier this week, the Bears fired their offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, and um, like we discussed, I mean, if there was any more evidence that Ryan Poles needed to see, like, hey, you shouldn't bring this guy in, he should have watched the interview with Jackson Smith in Jiba. I believe that's how you say it. Regardless, though, the Bears are currently on a 3-4 game losing streak right now. And look, if there was a time for Caleb Williams to step up to the plate and show why he is the number one overall draft pick, this is the game to do it, especially with the fact that this is one of NFL's greatest rivalries.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Green Bay is a good team all the way around.
Yeah,
Being that said, I could literally see this being like a 21-10 type game. Like
I can see that too.
I'm not going to say Green Bay is going to blow the doors off of them. I mean, like if I'm taking the under over, I'm more inclined to take the under on this game
Yeah,
because for this to go over, it's essentially like Green Bay has to put up at least 30 points.
yeah, no, for sure.
Because I'm sorry, the Chicago offense that I've seen the last 4 weeks does not invoke me to say, you know what, this is a team that can score, at least 20 points. No,
Yeah,
I don't think they can. I think they'd be lucky to score 14 or
hmm
17. And I mean, that's absolute shit luck.
yeah,
So that's my whole thing is the defense on Chicago. It's a good defense, and I
it
feel
is.
bad for them because this could be a lights out team if they would
Hmm
have drafted the right quarterback.
Yeah. Or even if they had the right coordinators on the sideline calling the plays. I mean, look at the talent that they have offensively. It's like, yo, how the hell are y'all
So
really 4-5, but your defense is carrying you guys?
yeah, yeah, no, I mean I'm right here with you, and that's why I say with that offense, it is more on Caleb Williams than it is on a fucking coordinator. No offense, but he's the one out there throwing the ball. He's
He
the one
is,
out there
but
making
the
decisions.
coordinators are the one calling the plays.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and that's why but again, at the end of the day, it's kind of that 50-50 thing, man, because
That's
it's
fair.
like your responsibility on that field is to do what this guy's telling you to do,
Yeah.
okay? But if you're 1 second late on what he's telling you to do, it makes him look like a fucking jerk off. Okay, it
Mm-hmm.
makes you look like a jerk off when it's really just you being a jerk off.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know,
for
one,
sure.
two, three, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw. Not
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, pat it, then throw.
This is what training camp is for, too.
Yeah, no, I get it, but then it's the whole testament is he's also a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rookie. He has to unlearn things that he did at USC and he did when he was in high school and he did when he was younger that he's not going to be able to carry over into the NFL. And that's the
No,
whole
for
thing.
sure.
Like understanding it's going to take time.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that he was not going to be the best polished quarterback as far as rookie quarterback in the NFL this year. Okay, I knew he was not going to be right. And,
Yeah.
and personally, I thought he wasn't the best quarterback. Okay, I thought Daniels was the best quarterback.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't
So
even close.
so that being said, give me Green Bay. I'm taking Green Bay all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking Green Bay as well. I mean, when you compare the two rosters, excluding the defense, offensively, Green Bay just has the edge on Chicago.
Yes, sir. Next up, we have Jacksonville going into Detroit to get manhandled. The under
Nah,
over right now is 46 and a half. The spread is 14 points. Okay. Listen to me. You bet the under, bet the under, bet the under. I know we've seen Detroit put up 50 some points on teams this year.
I was gonna say, like, Detroit is gonna have that many points at the end of the game the way that they've been playing.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Fair
I
enough.
think I think this is going to be a very run heavy game. I think it's going to be run the clock out. The thing is, Jacksonville's defense is not bad. They're really
Mhm.
not that bad. The problem is they have no offense and they don't get to stay off the field for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, if you look at the first half of most games, they're very competitive. If you
Yeah.
parts the second half of the game, they look competitive. So again, I think the defense will be able to at least make a few stops. We'll hold them in the red zone versus giving up touchdowns. They'll give up field goals instead. Like, don't get me wrong, I still feel like Detroit is going to put up 30 some points on this team.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't think they're going to put up 50 points. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't think Jacksonville puts up more than 14 points,
Mhm.
and that might be garbage time points.
No, for sure. I mean, I
Um,
really thought Mac Jones was going to be under center. And look, as much as I like the kid, and during his time, especially with New England, um, with the talent that Jacksonville has on their offense and everything like that, it I'm looking at it like, look, Jacksonville is going to have a lot of 3 and outs, and their offense is just going to go absolutely bananas on their defense because that defense is going to get tired because of the 3 and outs that they're going to have if Mac Jones starts under center. But it looks like Trevor Lawrence is getting the start. So this is definitely going to be a really competitive game today.
Yeah, so for me, my safe bet is take Jared Goff for 175 passing yards, take him for a touchdown.
Yep.
I'm taking Gibbs for 60 all-purpose yards. That's rushing and receiving, and I'm taking David Montgomery for I think 40 all-purpose yards.
Okay. Real safe bets right there.
That's my safe bet for that game.
Hell yeah. Rightfully so.
All right, next up we have Minnesota going into Tennessee. Oh boy, Minnesota should get that nice bounce back win that they need.
Oh yeah. Um, hang on. They did get a win last week over the Jaguars, but granted, it was a real lackluster kind of win. But hey, a win is a win. But this is definitely
Well, that's
bounce
why I
back.
said this is a bounce back win
Yes,
because they
I
are
was.
going to score and
Yes.
score and
Hmm.
score. I look for Jefferson to have a 100-yard day
Yeah,
and at
I
least
could
one
easily see
touchdown.
that. What do you see Addison having?
Addison, he's been so inconsistent this year, and not just because sometimes, yeah, he doesn't get the looks, but there's been
Hmm.
games where he's had 6 opportunities and only caught 2 balls.
Oof.
So I mean, he's very up and down for me. He's a 2 catch, 25-yard guy. I
Okay.
feel safe every like that would be my safe bet with him every single week. He's going to get you at least 2 catches. He's going to get you 25 yards on those 2 catches. That's safe there. Aaron
Hey,
Donald, Aaron Darnold is or
Sam
not
Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is going to get 175 passing yards. He's going to throw for 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
Um, it's a little spicy with the 2 touchdowns, but I feel like he's going to have a great day throwing the ball. Um, between having Naylor in the slot is a big difference maker, especially now that he's using them. And I think that also takes away from Addison. And then you got Oliver out there making catches. You got what's the tight end? TJ
Oh, TJ Hawkinson.
yeah, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
So he's got a variety of weapons out there. The under over is 39 and a half points. I'm taking the over because I feel like Minnesota is probably going to score, at least 25, 27 points, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I feel like Tennessee will they'll make a charge at it.
Mhm.
I think the second half of the game is really when Minnesota pulls away.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd be taking the over there. It's Minnesota by 6 points. I think it's going to be more than that, but
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not big.
Oh yeah, no. Look, I know Minnesota. It plays in a indoor stadium and everything like that, and they're playing at Tennessee. But I mean, when you compare Minnesota to Tennessee, especially with the month that we're in right now, you know, the guys on Minnesota are going to be used to that kind of weather going into Tennessee and everything. So it wouldn't be any surprise with the Vikings getting the win over the Titans. And, like you said, Titans basically getting garbage points by the end of the game.
Oh yeah, and next up we have the Las Vegas Raiders going into Miami. Boy,
Ooh.
that sideline is going to be hot. That sideline is going to be hot. You're going to be wearing them black jerseys, even
Ooh.
if it's only 80 degrees. Even if it's
Mm-hmm.
only 80 degrees in Miami.
Yeah,
You
it's still going
that
to be humid
sideline
down there.
that sideline is all sun. It is
Yep.
all sun on that sideline. And you're gonna be wearing
Yep.
the black jerseys. It's gonna be really fucking hot. You're gonna be
Yeah.
burnt up. And it like I'm saying this
Yeah.
from
Vegas,
that
hope you pass
point.
5 Vs.
Yes. But I'm taking Miami here. I'm taking Tua for 200 passing yards. I'm taking him for 2 touchdowns. Um, yeah, I feel like Miami is going to pull away. I got Achan or for what is it? 70 all-purpose yards. I got Mostert for over 25 all-purpose yards. Again, I feel like this is Miami's game right here. The
Yeah.
under over is 43 and a half points. I'm taking the over. All right.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is not just going to take this laying down. He's going to come in, he's going to play. It'll be somewhat competitive game. But
Yeah.
I think Miami ultimately just, at the end of it, I think they win something like 32-24 or 23, where it's just like it's competitive at times, but it's not going to be. I don't think Vegas has a chance. I really don't think they have a real good chance now that Tua is back with Miami. They beat the Rams last week.
Mhm.
I really feel like okay, Miami's got their footing back with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is going to get 4 catches. He's going to get at least 60 yards.
Yeah.
Weddle's going to get 3 catches for at least
Mhm.
40 yards. I mean, those are my safe bets.
Yeah. Look, I couldn't even agree more. The only way that Vegas wins this game is if Tua does something stupid and causes himself to have another concussion and basically is doing sign language while laying on the ground, making it look like he's seeing Coolio in the light. Like that's the only way I see the Raiders getting the win over Miami. But with Tua being back and the fact that he actually learned how to slide a few weeks ago, big round of applause to Tua for that. Um, yeah, I ultimately Miami's walking away with this win.
All right. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams going into New England.
Ooh,
I'm taking the Rams here. Um,
yeah.
Rams played a really good competitive game against Miami.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Stafford was sitting back there, and you had 6'8" Calais Campbell just knocking fucking passes down. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it
But
was.
this week, I don't think he'll have the same issue with England defense that he did last week. I
Mhm.
think they get the win. The under over is 43 and a half points. Um,
I'm definitely taking the under in that.
no, I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over.
Really?
New,
Okay.
New England, New England is a competitive team. They're not
Yeah.
good. That's the only problem. They're just not good. They're competitive. They compete. They play fundamentally pretty good football, but they
Mhm.
just they don't have the talent that other teams have.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now they don't have the talent, but I'm looking at it from a defensive standpoint and basically just how their game last week went against Chicago. That was a defensive game from top to bottom the minute kickoff started. Um,
Yeah,
but
but
ultimately,
Chicago doesn't have Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford now
very
has Cooper Kupp back, Puka Nakua back. They got uh what's his name? Pinkson, the tight end.
true.
Uh,
Kyrene Williams.
exactly. So for me, like I said, I'm taking Stafford for 200 yards. I'm taking him for 200 touchdowns. I'm taking Kyron Williams for 80 all-purpose yards.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna Matthew Stafford's probably gonna throw to Williams three or four times, probably
Okay.
in the first half. They're gonna do a bunch of screenplays. They're gonna make that defense move.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
They're gonna attack the sidelines. They're gonna do shortcut routes. They're gonna do comeback routes. Like they're gonna get the ball to Cup and Puka Nakua. So
Yeah,
again, I'm sitting here thinking about this. Like they're like he's going to be firing quick. Matt Stafford, like this is a must-win game for him.
yeah. No, definitely. This is like you said, a must-win game for Matt Stafford and everything. When even for the talent that the Rams have right now, and with Stafford under center, yeah, there's no reason that the Rams shouldn't walk away with a win. Or yeah, there's no
Yeah,
way that yeah, there's no way that the Rams should lose this game.
yes. Next game up. This is a game that I've stayed away from as far as betting this week. I've stayed away from the game. Cleveland going into New Orleans.
Oof.
This is either going to be a defensive battle or this is going to be a fucking boat race.
Yeah,
So for me, I got to flip a coin and I got to pick one. I'm picking New Orleans. Okay. New
yeah,
Orleans has a decent defense and they have offensive weapons that if you can get them the ball, they can do things.
yeah.
All right. So if I had to make a bet on this game, okay, I'm betting the under. The bet line is 44 and a half points. I'm taking the under on that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I'd take Derek Carr for 150 yards.
Hmm,
Okay. I'll take Alvin Kamara for 80 all-purpose yards.
hmm.
That's it. That's it, Jack. I'm taking those are my three picks. Those are my three picks. That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm picking New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick New Orleans as well. I mean, James Winston is still under center, and who knows? We could see 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, James Winston, or we could see 1 touchdown and 3 to 4 interceptions, James Winston. I mean, the dude is so bipolar. It's hard to pick Cleveland, or even when he was with Tampa, it was like, bro, what kind of guy are you gonna be today? But ultimately, I'm going with the Saints. So,
Yes, yes. I do not blame you on that one. Next up, we're gonna go to Indianapolis, going into New York to play the Jets.
that so yes, the Jets currently have 7 losses on their season right now. And on top of that, there was a lot of hype around New York going into the season, especially with Aaron Rodgers coming back healthy. And a lot of people, certain talk host on ESPN's Get Up, really thought, oh, hey, with the addition of Devontae Adams, now we're really contenders. Well, the record says otherwise, and the way that they've been playing says otherwise, especially with the fact that they took a big, fat loss to Arizona of all teams, 31-6. I mean, look, this is definitely a bounce back game that New York needs to win. Keyword needs. Um, but I mean, if the Colts somehow find a rhythm, they've been going back and forth between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. If Richardson decides to feel himself with this game, yeah, the season is over for the New York Jets.
I mean, listen, I think it's been over for the Jets.
Hmm.
Uh, I think today is the nail in the coffin. I'm gonna take Indy. I'm gonna take Indy. Even with Richardson, I'm gonna take Indy because
Okay.
the fact is every time I've bet on Rodgers this year, and I think he's going to do well in a game, he absolutely shits the bed.
Yeah.
And then
No,
the
I
whole
agree.
it's always this why me bullshit with him. For me, I'm over it. I'm done with it. He's playing too inconsistent. You have now become Brett Favre. You are
Yeah.
now Brett Favre, sir. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna take Indianapolis. I'm gonna take Anthony Richardson for 150 passing yards. I'm gonna take Taylor for 80 all-purpose yards, and I'll remember, and I'll take Richardson for a passing touchdown.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely, like you said, this is definitely a nail in the coffin kind of game, and yeah, I'll take the Colts as well, with even with Richardson under center. I mean,
He can still throw the ball down the field, and that's the biggest thing in this game. Like, if you can throw the ball down the field, my whole thing is I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers do it consistently at all. We
yeah,
haven't seen Anthony Richardson do it consistently at all. But
yeah,
guess what? For me, the little bit that Anthony Richardson has done this year has been better than what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah, I
you
agree. I mean, like you said, Aaron Rodgers has basically turned into Brett Favre, and he's basically trying to be Tom Brady, trying to play in the league for so long, trying to win another ring on another team. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you've had so many chances, regardless of the teams in the NFC, to do that with the Packers, and now you want to switch over to the AFC where Brady dominated that shit. Man, get the fuck out of here. Like, just hang it up already. Hang it up after this season. Jet fans out there, look, Zach Wilson wasn't the problem because at least Zach Wilson got the Jets with the same fucking cast to a winning record. Because I guarantee you, they weren't 3-7 when Wilson was under center.
Yeah, yeah, no, unfortunately, it did not work out that way, but we'll see. Like I said, I mean the Jets could win, but I don't think the Jets will win.
No,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
Next game up, we have the Baltimore Ravens going
Oh,
into Pittsburgh to play the
mm.
Steelers.
A classic battle of the AFC North. This is easily going to be a tooth and nail bloodbath kind of football game, but the way that the Steelers have been playing, it's definitely going to be competitive. However, with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on the Ravens offense, I ultimately see Baltimore walking away with the win.
Yes, yes, I do. They have it a 3.5 point game, and I think that's just about right. Their under over is 48.5 points. I think that's crazy. I
Hmm.
don't think that happens. I think this is a 20 to 20, 20 to 21, 21 to 24 type game.
Yep.
Like I don't think it gets past 48 at all.
Yep.
Like I think we might be in the 40s, but not 48, 40. It could be 3 or 45, whatever, but
Oh
45 is
yeah.
still less. So I'm taking the under on this match. It's going to be a knockdown, drag out match.
Hmm.
It's so I'm taking Lamar for 75 passing yards. I,
Hmm.
and I'm taking him for 2 passing touchdowns. I'm taking Henry for 80 all-purpose yards, and I'm taking him for a touchdown.
Safe
I'm
bet.
Zay Flowers for 4 catches and 40 yards. And
Okay.
that's my parlay for this game.
Yeah, I mean, those are
And
some
I'm
real.
taking the Ravens to win. Obviously, I'm
Yeah,
taking the Ravens to win.
yeah, I'm taking the Ravens to win as well. I mean, and right now, this game is for sole possession of first place in the AFC North.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is definitely a game that the Ravens need to win if they want to show like, hey, we're the best team. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are consistent with what they do, especially with Mike Tomlin, never having a losing season. But this is a game where the Ravens need to make a statement, be like, hey, we're the kings of the AFC North. We are going to be getting that bye week when it comes playoff time.
Yes. Next up, we have Atlanta going into Denver
Oof.
to play the Broncos. The under over is 44.5 points. And I think that's just about right because I feel like Atlanta's going to put up around 14 to possibly 21 points in
Hmm.
this game. And I feel like Denver can do the same. So it's going to be a tight game. I'll take the over. Um, yeah, no, I'm taking Denver to win, though. I'm taking
Yeah.
Denver to win. I think Denver's defense is going to be the difference maker here. Again,
Hmm.
I think it's going to be a super tight game. I think it's going to be within one score. They have it within 2 points. They have the line is Denver by two.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Denver for the win here. I'll take Bo Nix for 150 passing yards. I'll take him for one touchdown. I'll take Williams for 40 all-purpose yards.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, look, I like Denver's odds of winning this game as well. Atlanta, they're good. They got great weapons and everything, but I mean, the way that Denver's defense is right now, especially with Patrick Surtain the second leading the way, I really don't know how Atlanta walks away with the win, especially with the fact that they are playing in Denver, the Mile High City. I mean, it's one of the toughest places to even go into and get a win. But ultimately, yeah, I do like the Broncos getting the win and Bo Nix having himself a day. He's really been proving himself this season since he came to the Broncos.
I mean, I'm not betting on him to have a day. I'm just betting on him to be average. That's what I'm
Yeah,
betting. Yeah,
yeah.
150 passing yards and one touchdown. That's I'm banking on one real good drive down the field where he throws the ball down and he gets a touchdown, and then everything else is mainly just hand the ball off, dink and dunk, manage the game.
For sure. No, I agree, but like you said, I'm going with Denver as well. And yeah, it's the Mile High City for a reason and yeesh, that's a real tough place to try to get a win at.
Yeah. Next up, we have Seattle going into San Francisco. Um,
Oof.
the under over is 48.5 points. I think they hit the over. The betting line is San Francisco by 6 points,
Mhm.
6 point spread. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with San Francisco here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a dirty game. It's gonna be
Oh yeah.
very, very back and forth, bang for bang. But I think in the fourth quarter, San Francisco has just enough to pull away
Mhm.
and win, and that in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take San Francisco. I'll take Purdy for 200 passing yards, a touchdown. Is Christian McCaffrey playing?
Not that I know of.
Okay, he was on the betting lines this morning.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna say like he could really be the difference maker. Right now, from what I'm looking at ESPN, it looks like Jordan Mason is going to be getting the start in the backfield.
okay, well, then
Uh,
whoever's that running back, they're gonna get at least 60 all-purpose yards. You can
yeah.
bet on 60 all-purpose yards. Um, I'd bet on Debo Samuels for 3 catches all day. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that one. Again, Seattle's gonna make this super competitive, but
Hmm.
I don't know if they have enough.
Yeah, I don't think Seattle has enough as well. This is definitely San Francisco's chance to uh
Back on
get
track.
within back on track and get within shouting distance of the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm going to add to the 49ers day. Give me Nick Bosa for a sack and then following it up with a Trump dance as a celebration.
All right. Next up, we have Kansas City going into Buffalo.
Mm, God.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll say this real quick and easy. The over under is 46.5 points. It's gonna go over.
Yeah.
All right. I'm taking Buffalo to win. Buffalo's gonna win this game. All right.
Yep.
Not only is Buffalo gonna win this game, the Buffalo Bills are gonna put up over 30 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could easily
The
see that.
Buffalo Bills are going to be the first. This is going to be an ass whipping.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Kansas City may be competitive in the first half of this game, but I think Buffalo takes it to a whole nother level in the second half.
Oh yeah.
They're going to stretch it out. They're going to run the ball. I think they're going to catch Kansas City slipping. And I think the biggest difference in this game is going to be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling they're going to try to rush his ass. He's gonna do one of them little cut right through the line, and he's going to bust it for 25 fucking yards.
Oh,
I'm
for sure.
I'm taking Josh Allen for 200 passing yards. I'm taking him for two touchdowns. I'm taking Cook for 60 all-purpose yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills as well. I'm going to take the Bills as well. I mean, look, as good as the Chiefs are, they are without a doubt right now the worst undefeated team in NFL history, and that goes without saying. But right now, look, if the Bills want to make a statement in the AFC, this is a game that they need to win, and it's definitely going to be a shootout when you look at both quarterbacks, and even in today's modern NFL society, this is probably the best rivalry that we have seen right now between the Chiefs and the Bills because they met up so many times, but Kansas City keeps walking away with the victor. Buffalo, they need to figure something out if they want to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, but right now it looks like the Bills own them in the regular season. I got Buffalo winning this game as well.
Yes, sir. All right, and the last Sunday game, Sunday Night Football, it will be Cincinnati going into the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes, sir.
The under-over is 47 points. We're going over. We're going over. We're going over. Not only are we going over, okay, LA is the favorite in this.
Yeah,
not
by
so
1
fast.
point.
Not so fast. I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm taking Cincinnati, and I'm taking Cincinnati big here. Okay, well, not real big, but at least 2 scores. So I'm saying at least 10 points. I think they win this game by 10 points. The Chargers have looked really good this year, but the one thing that I haven't seen the Chargers handle very well is a quarterback wide receiver duo like Cincinnati.
Yes.
Okay. So again, for me, I'm betting on Cincinnati, and Higgins is back. So Higgins is supposed to be back this week. They got Jamar Chase. They got what is his name? Andre Isabella is a something.
Yeah.
They've got Eric All. They've got multiple tight ends. They got Gesicki. Their offensive line is playing well. What's his name? Chase Brown. Okay, is playing like a freaking madman.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm taking Burrow for 250 yards. I'm taking him for 2 touchdowns. All right. I'm taking Chase Brown for 70 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. And there you go. So Bengals to win. Burrow for 250, 2 touchdowns. Brown for 70 all-purpose yards and a touchdown.
Hell yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. Look, I'll just say this. The one thing that doesn't sit right with me with Cincinnati is the fact that Joe Burrow is having himself an MVP season, but they have a losing record right now. Look,
I tell everybody that defense is not good.
No, for sure. I completely agree.
I
completely agree. I mean,
receiver, but if your defense can't stop nobody, it doesn't matter how many points you put up if the other team can put up the same amount of points.
No, for sure. And I mean, right now, Joe Burrow is basically playing the same kind of football that Baker Mayfield is doing in Tampa. Like, this dude is doing everything in his power to make sure that his team gets the win. But it's like, you can only do so much. And as soon as the defense steps on the field, you're screwed.
Yes.
But ultimately, I like what you said about the Bengals. I like the safe parlays and everything that they got going on right now. I'm taking Cincinnati to get the win over the Chargers.
All right. And then the last game of the week is Monday Night Football.
Battle of Texas, baby.
You have Houston Texans going into the Dallas Cowboys arena, and they are going to make it their home.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So we both took Denver to win. We took you guys to beat Atlanta. Again, it's gonna I feel like it's gonna be a close game. Las Vegas has it a 2 point game. I
Hmm.
think it's gonna be within the same parameters.
Hmm.
Um, Again, for this one, the under over here is probably the hardest thing with the Broncos game today being at 44.5 points,
Yeah.
because how bad would it suck if it was fucking 17 to 24,
Oof. Real bad.
and you just barely hit miss under, if you take the over, or vice versa. What
Oh yeah.
happens if it's 28 to 21 and you're like, what the fuck, I took the under. So it's going to be one of those games where the game line is, I mean, under over is going to be really, really close today.
Hmm.
um but yes, the defense for Denver, I think, is the difference maker here. Atlanta's defense has been up and down. So we'll see. We'll see if I think this is probably going to be a defensive game, but
Yeah.
I think both of these teams can make mistakes where the other team can capitalize, and that's where it comes down to.
Yeah.
But going back to the Texas Bowl we got going on here for tomorrow
Oh,
night.
nah, the champ is here, Brian. The champ is really here because I got my belt. So,
But yes,
we already discussed what the Broncos are going to be doing today against the Falcons. We got the Broncos coming out on top over the Falcons because the Mile High City is one of the toughest places to go into and get the win. And yeah, look, that was complete bullshit with the Chiefs barely, keyword barely, beating the Broncos on a blocked field goal. They need to take a look at that left side of the line with the field goal unit, because man, oh man, Kansas City had no business just running over the people that were trying to make sure that Denver was going to get that game-winning field goal.
yeah, that's why I brought up the Broncos, and I said it again because I saw his comment.
Yeah, man was the MVP of last night's live stream, man.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, so I got Houston going in and decimating Dallas.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm like I'm and again, this is my safe parlay. All right. I'm taking Stroud for 200 yards, two passing touchdowns.
Hmm.
Um Nico Collins is supposed to be back. I'm taking him for at least 3 catches, 40 yards.
Yeah.
Um Give me Tank Dell for 2 receptions, because I'll know he'll get at least two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the Texans for a big win.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the Texans, like, if there was a nail in the coffin type game for the Dallas Cowboys for this season, this is the game that the Texans really need to go into and just put the nail in the coffin for the Cowboys season, because right now they have no business sitting at 3-6, and with the even with the kind of talent that they have right now, Jerry Jones is showing he went all in to do nothing this year. So yeah, I like the Texans as well. They definitely need a bounce back win after a very, very close loss to the Lions, especially with the fact that they forced Jared Goff to have 5 interceptions last week as well. But I do like the Texans' chances of winning this game.
All right, well, that's it.
Paid the rest. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. We got it. So looks like we're gonna have to go back to college football. What bowl game does South Carolina have a chance of going to?
Oh man, I have no clue. I don't know anything about the bowls.
Hey, maybe another Outback Bowl, and we see another Jadavion Clowney type moment.
I mean, hey, that would be pretty cool.
It
I
would be
mean,
pretty cool.
a couple of these defensive linemen are definitely going to the NFL.
Oh,
Uh, they-
absolutely.
that defensive line for South Carolina has showed up and showed out this year.
Yeah, absolutely. But
But
all right, that is all the time that we have right now. Hey, Big Mac, a pleasure as always having doing this show with you. And hey,
Sure.
you already know we have fun doing this.
Yep, yes, sir. I'm gonna try to have everything set up where it's a much longer show next week. I'll get the trivia ready. I'll get all that stuff. This week has been a busy week for me.
Yep.
Next week will kind of slow down a little bit, but it's also going to be pretty busy. So we'll see how everything goes. I know my Friday is clear, so I know I'll be on your show.
All right,
So,
for sure, man. For
but
sure. Hey,
I appreciate it, man. I love you, brother, man. You have
hey,
yourself a great Sunday. Watch the football. I can't wait to talk to you next week.
absolutely, man. Enjoy your Sunday. Have yourself a good week this week. And man, looking forward to seeing you on Thursday, possibly.
Possibly. I know I work Thursday, so I just got to see what time I'm actually supposed to get off.
All right. Hey, no worries, man. Just hey, for now, enjoy your Sunday and have a good week, my man.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right. So another episode of Game Day Countdown with Mac and James is in the book. Bro, you go steal the show again with the comment of the day. God damn, dude. But look, I completely agree with this comment right here. The way that the Cowboys have been playing this season, just right here, right there. It really is similar to that kind of thing. My God. My God, man. My God. Uh, oh God. But hey, look, another episode of Game Day Countdown with Mac and James is in the book. Um, we already you already know we discussed parlays, what teams are going to be winning, what teams are going to be losing, and on top of that, what teams are going or we already recapped the games of college football yesterday. Man, it was a good time as well. And if you tuned into UFC 309 last night, if you tuned into this channel to watch UFC 309, you already know it was a good time last night. And man, oh man, did John Jones make a statement last night against Stipe Miocic in the heavyweight division, nonetheless. But hey, another episode in the books. Hope everybody has an awesome, awesome, awesome Sunday today and enjoys watching their team get a win, unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, in which case you can fuck off in that direction. Until then, be sure to tune in Monday, tomorrow, for Legends of the Squared Circle, where we are going to be talking some WWE top 5 lists, and you already know it's gonna be a great time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We aim to please and we aim to make sure that we're always going to have a great show. But until then, tune in. Like I said, tune in tomorrow night for Legends of the Squared Circle. It's going to be a fun time. You're not going to want to miss it. Oh, my God. Wow, I'm an idiot. Yes, be sure to tune in tonight for Football Frame of Mindset. You're not going to want to miss it. The hosts of that show are great guys. They know their stuff. They know what they're talking about. Don't miss it. Football Frame of Mindset. Be sure to tune in. Until then, I will see y'all next week. Peace